Now first, let me say thank each and every one of you for being here. It's all greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. Today what we're going to be doing is something a little different. This is going to be a two-part video. The first part will be me showing what we're doing, which is by now you done read the title, the Panhard Rod. Which one do you need? What are the differences? And all that good information. And the second one that will be coming up after I get the part in will be the install video. So let's get to it. Now to do this, you're going to need a couple things. Like I said, you're going to need a level or a straight edge of some sort. So we'll get you out of the sun. You're going to need a flat surface, doesn't matter, a Food Line parking lot, Walmart parking lot, anywhere, just as long as it's level. And straight edge tape measure. That's all you need. It's very, very simple. So let's get to checking mine. How is it going, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today's video is preparation for another part for the 4th Gen, and we'll discuss what it is. I know you've read the title by now, but we'll discuss what it is, why I want it, why you might need it, how to know which one to get, because there are several. But to figure that out, you're going to need a tape measure and a straight edge of some sort. In this case, I'm going to be using a level. So let's get out to the car and I'll show you. Alright, out at the car, as you can see. Yep, still looking good from that ceiling squeal, ain't she? But here's how you tell which one that you actually need. You're going to take your level, put it up next to the car and get it level. And I'm going to try to do this one-handed. But you get your bubble as level as you can. And mine is almost at the tire. You're going to get the bubble as level as you can. And I'm trying to do this one-handed, but I'm just going to do it like this to show you. And I'll do it and get it perfect off the video. But you're going to get it as level as you can with the center of your tire. Then you're going to take your tape measure and put it on the center of your wheel and then read out to the edge of the tape measure, the level. You can use either or. I just like using this because it's easier. But as you can see, I got 4 3/4 on this side. Now we're going to go around to the other side and check that side. Alright, as you can see, she's pretty level. Come down. I'm at 5 inches. So my rear end, and it's no pun intended, is a little off center. Now, what is a Panhard rod? What does it do? Which one do you need? Very simple to explain. Most cars back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s had what's called leaf springs. The leaf springs made contact in 4 points, the front edge and the rear edge, and then you had your axle housing and rear end housing that went from one side to the other and made contact on those 2 points. So that's 4 points of attachment. Today's rear ends do not have that luxury. Like my 4th Gen Camaro, it has the rear end housing, which has the lower control arms, which contact it to the frame or to the body, and there's nothing to prevent that movement left to right. The springs and the big U-bolts that would clamp the rear end housing to the leaf springs would prevent that. Well, in today's rear ends, the technology is not the same, so there's nothing to control that left to right, because like I said, you've got the lower control arms that attaches to the rear end. Well, now you need something to prevent it from moving left and right. As you go around a curve, the rear end will want to keep going straight unless it has something to attach it to the body to make it want to roll with the body. And that's the purpose of a Panhard rod. It goes from typically the top of one side of your rear end housing and then goes across and attaches to the upper part or lower part opposite side of where the Panhard rod mounts to the rear end. In other words, most of the time it goes from the passenger side rear end up to the left side of the frame, and that keeps it, it gives it a solid point, a solid mounting point to where the rear end doesn't want to shift as you go around the curve, and it keeps the rear end stationary for lateral forces, in other words sideways movement. And that's the whole point of that, because it's got to have something there, because like I said, all you got is the lower control arms, and outside of the springs and the shocks, there's nothing to keep it from wanting to go left and right. There's nothing to keep the body on the rear end or stationary over the rear end outside of the shocks and the Panhard rod. Now, which one do you need? Which one do you want? Which one do you want to spend the money on? Do you want to spend the money on one? That's totally up to you. But the Panhard rods are basically two styles, this lower control arm. This fixed length, which is set by standards of the maker of the car. You know, they design where the holes are supposed to be. And then there's adjustable. Sometimes, you know, during the building process, even though it's all computer operated and everything nowadays, sometimes it's can get shifted just a little bit, a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch. Your body could be warped a little bit, you know, from years and years and years of abuse. Could have been in a wreck. There's any number of reasons why you would want an adjustable one. You want your car to track a little to the right so that when you make left-hand curves, it has that built-in tendency to want to go left, or vice versa, want to go to the right. There's many reasons as why you would want either or. The one that you need depends on the measurement and what you're trying to do. If you've noticed when you're driving your car hard and you go around a curve, it feels like the rear end wants to just walk around just ever so slightly, then a Panhard rod, tubular Panhard rod, or a solid Panhard rod is for you. This will get rid of that sponginess, because the Panhard rod, and I'll be inserting photos as we do all this, the Panhard rod will not have the flex like the factory piece does, because it's just another stamped piece also. It's not solid. So going around curves and stuff, you will notice an immediate difference. You will notice by the seat of your pants that it doesn't have that sloppiness in it anymore. Now, if your rear end is a little off center by the measurements and everything, then you will need to get an adjustable one. Now, are you looking for all-out performance? If you are, you'll want to get the ones with the heim joints, because they're solid. There's no movement, there's no give in them. It's all business. You put them on there and go. But you're going to get a lot of noise driving it around coming through that, because you got metal on metal contact. Then they have the polyurethane bushings, which take out a lot of the noise, which is what I'm going to be ordering, which is what I'm going to be using. So it just depends on what you want. Are you wanting all-out track performance, or are you looking for something in between? Because they even have a blend. You can get the solid mount for the heim joint, and then do the polyurethane for where it goes to the frame. You won't get as much road noise coming through as you would solid on both ends. Now, which one am I going to be ordering? Since my rear end is only an 1/8 of an inch off one way or the other, I will be ordering the non-adjustable one. I don't need the offset. I'm not going to be tracking this car anymore. I used to run it around quite a bit, but I'm not going to be tracking it. I'll just have some fun on the roads, you know, going around corners or in the mountains or whatever. But since I don't need that adjustability, because mine is pretty much centered, I'm just going to go with the regular fixed length one. So I'm going to get that ordered. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. And this will be just the first part of the video, showing and telling and why and how and which and this and that. The second part will actually be me installing it, so stay tuned for that. And we'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for stopping by. Big old parking lot. Everybody's got to drive by. Hello. I'm serious. Look at all this space back here behind me. This is the second time it's happened. Alright, what are we doing today, you may be asking. You may be wondering, why am I sitting in the car by myself? What am I doing? No. I don't know.